Welcome back to Bluegrass on this beautiful March afternoon. I'm out with Taji working on his leash manners. And when I say working on his leash manners, I mean I am putting in lots of work trying to get this big dog to have some decent leash manners. Oh my gosh. Okay, so guys, listen, the dog business is predicated on getting dogs in, making progress with them, and then sending them home and getting paid, right? Let me tell you, you ain't making much of a living trying to train these big Livestock Guardian dogs, okay? And in a lot of videos that we made with Taji so far, people will make the point, why buy this kind of dog, you know? Taji, quit romancing that girl there. Taji loves the girls. Listen, you know, I mean, I have some sympathy for that comment. You know, like if somebody called me and they said, hey, Stonnie, like I'm thinking about getting a big Central Asian Shepherd or a big Kangal because I think they look cool and they're awesome, and I would look awesome, you know, walking it down my street. I would probably say, let's look in a little bit different direction. Let's not be afraid to just have a normal dog. Okay, and that happens with everything. It happens with clothes, it happens with cars, it happens with houses. Everybody knows what the good, sensible choice is, but very few people, especially when they're young, have the capacity to simply make all their decisions based on the practicality of all the factors, okay? And so I'd say that kind of applies in this situation. You know, Taji for me has been a fun and interesting project. He's been good for my assistant because she's never been around this kind of dog much, okay? And so it's a real challenge. And the young guy that owns this dog, he's the kind of guy that's always seeking challenges. So even though maybe, you know, getting Taji, turn around here so they can see you. Even though maybe getting Taji wasn't the most practical decision that this young fella ever made, okay? He made it, okay? And since he made it, now he's got to live with the implications of the decision. And I'm here to help him make the best out of the situation, not to lecture him on what he should have done. I like to lecture people before they make mistakes, not after they make mistakes, you know? And so, like, and so the best I can do, okay, is be honest and say, if you're gonna have this kind of dog, there's just a lot of things that you're gonna have to consider in terms of the dog's management, okay? And there's lots of adjustments that are gonna have to be made in terms of your expectations, okay? You guys have been watching, I've been on YouTube for a long time, and you guys have been watching that whole, that whole time of me having dogs here and teaching them their formal obedience on this little course and then take them out and adventuring and stuff. And very rarely do you see one that consistently, you know, takes me, you know, as much work as what Taji is taking me. But it just is what it is, okay? And the young fella that bought this dog is just gonna have to, you know, he's just gonna have to live with the fact that, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so he's going to have to be a little bit more patient. He's going to have to be a little bit more proactive in his management strategies. He's going to have to be a little bit more lenient in how he defines, you know, acceptable precision in his obedience routines. Okay. Oh my gosh. Now you see there, like right there, the cameraman, dog got under her feet. She accidentally stepped on the dog. He made a squealing noise, and you saw how Taji kind of pulled me towards that noise, okay? That's some of the practical considerations that you have to make when you're getting a big, powerful dog, okay? If I was just a little bit older, or if there was a little bit of ice on the ground, what would have happened right there? Well, I would have fell down. And then if I fall down and I get hurt, even if I was a really good owner for a large, powerful dog before I got hurt, how good of an owner am I going to be after I get hurt? Okay, what I'm going to end up with is a dog that nobody else can walk, and a dog that doesn't behave very well because it's not getting enough exercise, it's not getting enough mental stimulation, right? You got to remember, these dogs are bred to cover, you know, like large swaths of area. They kind of have their own kingdoms, and the stuff that belongs in the kingdom gets to stay, and the stuff that doesn't belong in the kingdom gets killed, right? These dogs, I mean, an easy way to think about these dogs is they have a very medieval way of viewing the world. They have very distinct in-group, out-group preferences, right? and they have a certain amount of like genetic impulses that have to be managed, and one of those impulses is the impulse to walk the perimeter of their kingdom, to get out and see what everybody's up to. And if you can't walk the dog, if you can't take the dog out because you're hurt, because the dog's big and powerful and you just physically can't control it, if you can't take the dog out because, you know, the dog's not well socialized and he has problems interacting with the other dogs in your environment, whether or not they're the rude ones, okay? And that's what you really have to understand, is it doesn't matter whether the other dogs in your neighborhood are rude or not. You have to be able to control your dog if you have the large, powerful one, because he's the one that's capable of doing the most harm, you know? Okay, so I would like for people to watch these videos, especially the videos with Taji, and understand that I'm recommending that you be realistic and you make the sensible choice. But if you've already made an impractical choice, okay, now you just are where you are, and it's time to get to work, okay? And so if somebody brings me a dog like Taji, if somebody contacts me with a dog like Taji, I'm gonna be honest, most of the time, I'm gonna have to defer to someone else in terms of training it, because it just takes too much of my time, okay? But if I make the commitment, like I made with Taji, then I'm gonna see it through. And I know that it's not a 1-year process, it's not a 2-year process. These are slow maturing dogs. So when I signed up to help train Taji, okay, I signed up for 3 or 4 years of being in constant contact with his owner, helping provide information, helping provide socialization opportunities, helping to provide moral support for when they feel like they're not going to be able to be successful, okay, because that's going to happen. Do you know how many times a day I successfully walk this course with dogs? Hundreds, okay? Do you know how many times at this point, and Taji's been with me a little while, do you know how many times I've come out here and successfully walked this course following the 1-finger rule? And for those of you familiar with my channel, you know that's my rule for obedience. I should be able to walk a dog with the amount of tension on the leash it takes for the lead to hang on my finger, just 1 finger. Okay, that's kind of my thing, you know. Do you know how many times I've been able to do that with Taji? Not one time, okay? But I can't get frustrated. I can't give up. I can't get mad and try to force it to happen. Okay, it's just gonna, you know, we're just gonna like make the progress that we make. And every day, we're gonna try to make a little more. Every day, we're gonna try to be a little bit better than we were yesterday. And if you watch the videos, you can see Taji's a little bit better than he was yesterday. He's a little bit better than he was the last video. He's doing a pretty good job of being able to stay focused while the other puppies are making noise and running around and playing, okay? Was he the sensible choice? No. Would I recommend you getting this kind of dog? No, okay? But once you get the dog, once you make the commitment, then all we can do is keep putting 1 foot in front of the other, and hope that, like, you know, it turns out the way we want it to. And you see, like right there, this is what you're gonna have to be prepared for. Right there, I was almost at the end of my video, okay? And like Taji had sat there and he's been really good, okay? And then what did he do? He got up. And that's the story of every training session with Taji. Every day I have to be able to understand that we're going to get almost through everything that we're, you know, wanting to do, and he's going to mess up, okay? And it's not because he's trying to be a bad dog. It's not because I'm not putting in the work. It's because Taji is a round peg that I'm trying to put, come on there, that I'm trying to put in a round, in a square hole, right? Okay, round pegs, they fit in square holes, but they don't fit in there without a lot of coaxing, okay? And that's where we are with Taji. And if you have this kind of dog, just be willing to get out, be patient, and do a lot of coaxing. All right, I'll see you guys next week. Very good dog. You're a very good boy.